Hello everyone, welcome to the classroom. Today we'll be looking at the second live-action Fullmetal Alchemist film, The Revenge of Scar. Just kidding, I tricked you. In an unprecedented act of self-love, I will not be talking about that dumpster fire of a movie, and today we will actually be talking about the Homunculi, one of the best villain groups in all of shonen media. Thank you for joining us as always. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime to date, and a huge part of that is the human cast, because just like Ed says,
people are awesome.
But you know what humans have made? War, taxes, and American cheese. That's why I am now strictly Team Homunculi. That's right folks, I am now only an ally of the artificial humans modeled after the 7 deadly sins. See, that's how I make this video accessible to people who haven't watched Fullmetal, because I need everyone to love this video, and to love me. The Homunculi were introduced incredibly early into the series in Chapter 2 of 108, a testament to how well thought out the entire plot clearly was before the mangaka Himuro Arakawa ever put pen to paper. I absolutely love these characters because of the amazing amount of restraint and respect they are shown as real people. On November 22nd, 2013, the video game Dead Rising 3 was released, a zombie apocalypse action game where the villains are modeled after the 7 deadly sins. And they are...
If you don't listen to me, then I'm going to be one angry daddy.
Exactly as awful, flat, and one note as you'd expect. Obviously these are very different products, but I think when you say villains based off the 7 deadly sins, people expect Dead Rising 3. Villains who are so out and out terrible with their sin that it is obnoxious, but Fullmetal Alchemist is not like that. For example, you may think that Lust would be a woman so horny that she creates an oil slick under her feet at all times. But no, she's just kinda a normal person. I think she actually puts it best when she says,
"You're a monster!"
That was uncalled for. I do have feelings. Apart from a few things, I was made nearly identical to you. I am human.
Fear King Bradley, who is later revealed to be the homunculi known as Wrath, reveals that he has many souls inside of him, but the one that has prevailed is simply the most wrathful, which gives us a strong insight into how these beings work. I do like all of the homunculi. I think that they all have really great designs, and I think that they're always fun to watch on screen. But there is a very clear difference between the best of them and the worst of them. My least favorite of all of them is Sloth. He's only formally introduced in Chapter 66, and he's the second to last homunculi to be introduced. As you may guess, he is lazy, and a surprisingly shallow character for this incredibly well-written series. The only thing I really like about him is that it turns out that he's really fast, but he chooses to go slow because going fast takes effort. Sloth is the only one who I really think came up short. It is all winners from here on out. Pride is dangerous, and that's what I love about him. His character doesn't have much depth, but watching him in a fight is always entertaining as he can manifest phantom limbs from shadow. Pride is always a terrifying presence, whether he is near or not. His all-seeing eyes in Central City forces Riza Hawkeye to speak in code to convey this message to Roy Mustang. Salim Bradley is homunculus. Also, the reveal of him being the son of the Fuhrer made me spit my drink out and slap my white ass.
Who's buying this?
That would be my big fat ass.
Gluttony is a tragic character, a mentally stunted weapon for his father to throw at problems, hoping he'll gobble them up, which fair, he does have more mass than a Season 7 Mac. But even larger than his rumbly-tumbly is his heart, which we really see after the death of Lust. Gluttony suddenly becomes much less lively and excited than he once was, and we see real rage and a thirst for vengeance in him in his pursuit to murder Roy Mustang. Girlfriend, I'm sorry, I know he's your favorite. Sometimes the best thing someone does is die, but sometimes the best thing someone does is die sexy. Before her death by fire, courtesy of Roy Mustang, Lust doesn't really have that much going on. She's kinda the anime equivalent of a Bond girl, there to have tits and be alluring, but not much else. Her "we are human" monologue right before her death, however, plants very interesting seeds in the audience's mind as to what it really means to be a homunculi. Plus, her death serves as a huge victory for our protagonist and by extension the audience, at a very low emotional point in the series following the murder of best dad Maze Hughes. I know that I'm going to be court-martialed for this, but I don't care, I gotta speak the truth. Fuhrer King Bradley, aka Wrath, is the bronze medalist of this list. The reveal of Bradley's true identity is one of my favorite plot twists in anything ever. I think that it hits all the right beats, it has a perfect mix of being completely unexpected and making complete sense immediately. Like, yeah, to sign off on a genocide, you do have to be inhumanly evil, and the theme of what it means to be human is further explored through that. Plus, after this reveal, every scene with Fuhrer Bradley is more tense than trimming your nutsack without a razor guard. Plus, the Fuhrer introduces more nuance to the homunculi, first off by being a person who had a Philosopher's Stone put inside of him. He isn't exactly the same as his homegrown siblings. He also shows genuine interest and curiosity in knowing what an ordinary citizen like his personal assistant Riza Hawkeye thinks about the Fuhrer and his son being homunculi. When she answers that she thinks it's sad that the ruler of their country just pretends at being a person and having a family, and he hears her answer, he doesn't become wrathful, he doesn't scream or strike her, he actually agrees in a way. Okay, there we go, just gonna put you right there. Okay, cool. Envy is the worst. He's just the fucking worst. But I love him. Envy is not that deep or introspective of a character. He's not like Lust, Wrath, or even the mystery character we are still yet to cover. He is a black hole of joy and positivity, unable to be kind to anyone, and many times being much worse than just unkind. Wendy Powell, the voice actor for Envy, puts in the fucking performance of a lifetime as this miserable little shit, and it's so fun to watch.
How are you, Fullmetal Pipsqueak? Oh, Ishbal! I couldn't have asked for a more enjoyable job than that. You remember the incident that started the war, right?
I had always heard it was because a military officer accidentally shot an Ishvalan child.
Yep. And the one that proudly pulled the trigger was none other than yours truly.
And watching Roy Mustang torch this tumor of a non-human is just...
Stupid human! He won't tell his friend! Ah! What's wrong with you?
Perfect. So if you have any critical thinking skills, which you probably don't, you're sitting around watching a YouTube video right now, you know what I'm doing. I am currently on a run while writing a textbook on metaphysics. But if you do in fact have critical thinking skills, you could have probably deduced that my favorite homunculus is Greed. When he was first introduced and subsequently killed, Greed probably would have been right below Lust. God, I wish that were me. But since he merged with Ling Yao, future Emperor of Qing, you see a whole other side of not just his character, but Ling's as well. Greed brings up the point that everyone wants something they don't have, which is absolutely true, not just in the case of Ling willing to lose so much so that he can become emperor. Even Ed and Al want so desperately to return to their original bodies. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. For Al, at least. I mean, I don't know, if I were Ed, metal arm and legs sounds pretty fucking sweet, I'm not gonna lie. Greed is the only homunculi who has a real complete character arc in my opinion, in the end sacrificing himself to help his friends. In a scene that has made me cry when I've both watched and read it. Father is also a very well written character in my opinion, just not a part of the main 7, being the first homunculi ever created and then creating the others. Seeing his flashbacks with von Hohenheim makes you wonder if he could actually have a speck of good in him. I especially like his line of, "I think I would be happy if I ever got to leave this flask." The issue then becoming that his physical form will always be a flask, which leads him to absorb God and then get his shit rocked by a 15-year-old. Well, y'all, thank you for listening to me talk about the homunculi today, but that is the video. thank you so much for sticking around to this point if you did, and in return, how about you leave me a comment and a like, and hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. I had a lot of fun making that one. I love Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I also love the manga, maybe even more. So I really appreciate every chance I get to talk about it. So thank you for letting me. I really appreciate your permission to do that. Thank you. But what I'm going to be talking about from my collection today is Batman Dark Victory. This is an incredible comic book. It is the sequel book to the much-loved Batman The Long Halloween. This one gets a little less recognition, but I think it is just as good. It really shows why Batman needs a Robin in his life, and I think that that is something that a lot of Batman fans don't really understand. And it was also drawn by Tim Sale, who unfortunately passed away this year at the age of 66, which is just way too soon. May you rest in peace, Tim. You know, that's just terrible. He's illustrated some of my favorite comics. This, obviously, Batman The Long Halloween and Superman for All Seasons are my favorite work of his. But once again, may rest in peace. I hope that his family is doing okay. So, thank you all for watching this video so much. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.